Good morning, hockey fans, and welcome inside the Amherst Stadium here as we get set for some crossover league matchup here between the Dartmouth Steele Subaru coming into this game sitting in third place in their respective league, and the Kensington Monaghan Farm Wild sitting fourth on their side of the leagues. Here as we get set for puck drop, and we are underway. Thanks for tuning in. Live on High Button Sports is right off the dryers. A chance for the Wild. Trying to work a backdoor pass in here on the opening draw. Puck back to the point, shot on, steered away. Getting the nod here this morning in between the pipes for the Dartmouth Steele Subaru, number 33, Silas Mullins will get the start here against the Wild. Down 200 feet from him, getting the nod. Also wearing number 33, Cody Mond. He'll get the nod here this morning. The Wild have an AP goaltender actually on their bench. Getting called up from the Western Rebels is Dylan Weil, as that puck clears into the bench of the Wild. So Dylan Weil getting the call up here for the Wild. A little bit of extracurriculars here going on early in the game. Murphy, the captain for the Wild, getting into it a little bit there with Brian in front of the bench as the puck got lifted up into their bench, and faceoff's going to stay inside. New rule incorporated into Hockey Canada last season. Any puck out of play in the offensive zone will remain in the offensive zone. Doesn't matter if it was tipped out, shot out. Here's the Wild work it back here. Wild coming into this game 8-4-1-3. They sit fourth. They have 20 points on the year so far, 60 goals for, 50 goals against. So all their games have been pretty tight, it seems like, as only a 10-goal differential separates them from their goals against and goals for. Over on the other side, the Subarus 15-4 after a win last night against the Fredericton Capitals, who are first place in the the New Brunswick PEI U18 league, as Subarus knocked them off 4-1 last night. Pretty intense game, a little bit of rough stuff near the end. One of the players actually got a 5-minute head contact call in that one, as I don't know if any further suspension had been given to him. As that puck chipped in by Henry, played there by Mon, who takes away the icing. Brian centering pass, doesn't connect as McDonald was driving the net. Toombs in there in the end wall. He gets taken down now. There's a net guard on the ice down low. Centering pass, work back. Here's McPhee at the point. He'll walk across. Ringette line, let a shot go. It's blocked. Rebound off the shot block. McPhee let a backhand shot go, and puck didn't find its way to the net. Weil looking to break things out over the far side. That's chipped out. Toombs trying to chip it around Henry, but can't do so. Henry chip and chase, gets it in the corner. Now in behind, takes a big hit there, stepping into him with a nice little hip check. Noah Hackett taking down Ben Henry. Henry, a physical and long rangy defenseman for the Subarus. That's going to be an icing charge to the Wild. They won't be allowed to change, as a couple players that head to the bench. They'll have to bring those guys back over the boards. Bystrick will have to be sent back in, as you see the bright green helmet there of Brady Allison. Another call up for the Wild here this morning. He plays for the Western Rebels as well, having a pretty good year. He's first for his squad. Did a couple games. They got a pretty good team in the U16 league. So Allison will get the call up here, as you see him now with the puck. Brady Allison, cross ice pass, that connects cleanly, as that's going to be chipped in by the Wild. Griffin will chip it in. Hutt will give chase. Chipped around him though. So that's step down. Dowling gets it chipped past him up to center. Off the feet and into the neutrals, into the zone, as that's Calvin Carver finishing his check there in front of the bench, trying to get his man into the bench. Carver had a pretty good solid game last night. I mistakenly called him Owen Carter the whole game, but it's Calvin Carter here wearing number 7 for the Subarus. My apologies yesterday. As Burgess turns the puck over at the ringette line back into the neutral zone. Dropped off, Brian for McPhee. He'll go D-to-D. Papolinski, far side, gets center, dumps it down. High flip right into the glove and chipped back here to the point by the defenseman as the forecheck knocks the net off his brain. And Hackett, little cross check there after Breen trying to finish his check on Hackett, who got the puck lifted right into his glove by Papolinski, who played it up, and a faceoff's going to come outside of the zone, saying a Subaru guy was the one to cause the net to dislodge. So the faceoff here just outside of the Wild zone. Murphy against Bryan. Bryan and Murphy battling off the draw. It's one back by the Wild, chipping it up into the Sub zone. A hand pass doesn't get collected. Mills picks it up over the line, down low. Mills trying to work it into the corner. Hackett steps up at the point. Gets it picked off, though, by Breen on the dump in. He'll work it up for Burgess. Shot there, glove save for Mond, and hold on for a whistle. A little bit of extra stuff there, driving the net. Burgess is going to take a little shove from the D-man out in front. That's Christian Cameron, who said, get away from my goaltender. Tremblay got the little shove in the face there. He'll head off to the bench now. Here's a couple words for the Wild bench as he heads off. Face off, blocker side here, Amond. One back though, and Ryan can't get to it as it goes D to D. The Wild break it out. Pass into the feet of Mills. He can't collect it. Henry now has it in his own zone, works up the wall, and that's chipped around Cameron, who stepped up. Murphy at center, dumps it back in. Murphy wears the C, and he sits third in points for the Wild. So the captain doing his job on the offensive side of the game as well, as leading this team so far here into the Christmas break. That puck chipped all the way down. That's going to go all the way for icing, as Mills can't get there. Henry to it first. Icing call. Face off all the way back down in the Wild zone. As we take a quick look here, the Subarus now sit actually 15-4. The Wild coming into this game 8-4, 1-3. As the third place team from the Nova Scotia side facing off against the fourth place team from the PEI New Brunswick side here in Amherst. Still no score between these two as we are live on High Button Sports. I'd like to thank you again for tuning in here this morning. Hope you're having a good morning, getting your coffee into you here, watching this U18 matchup. Crossover leagues here this afternoon. I guess it's kind of morning, afternoon. Might still be rolling out of bed, depends on what you did last night. Is tons of hockey on the NHL last night, so, and even here in Amherst, if you were up watching the Junior A team, they played off against Truro last night here at home. There's definitely some late nights, maybe for some people, maybe just rolling out of bed, turning us on, and we are 5 minutes in. Here's a chance. McKay gets it poked off his stick by Land into the corner. Papolinski picks up the loose puck behind his net, kicks it up to his stick. He'll wheel it up, and now he'll high flip as Smith trying to hold it onside, but it won't be him that causes the offside. That, I believe, is Ryan stumbling there, kicking it to the wall. As heading off, McKay looking at his skate, maybe losing an edge there. I'll have to get that figured out. Wild breaking out. Bystrick chipping it up into the neutral zone. McPhee up for Ryan, trying to walk around the man, goes off the skate. Toombs going to pressure Henry now. Up into the neutral zone, Bystrick can't keep it onside. That'll be an offside call at the line. Face off once again here, just outside the Subaru's line. McPhee out there with Henry on the backside for the Subarus, as that'll be picked off on the entry and worked up here. The Wild come back over the line, chip and chase. Cameron gets to it first. He'll spin it back to James at the point. Shot there, blocker saved by Silas. Mullins gets the nod here after an outstanding performance last night from Will Cole in between the pipes for the Subarus, coming up with a few big saves, only allowing one goal. Faced quite a bit of rubber. Shots were pretty close, up near the high 30s into the 40s for both squads. Last night as Bastrick shot in front, goes off the side of the net, down low, centering pass. Toombs tries to let one go, can't go. As it goes back, here's Kelly, walks up top, cycles, down low. Toombs is gonna go down. Henry is gonna take the call, and Ben Henry is gonna take the first penalty of the game, as No love loss here between any of these teams. Not get to play against each other too often, but definitely a physical game here last night and again into today. These teams trying to showcase what they have. Some scouts in attendance here. Yesterday there was, probably 15 to 20 scouts here in Amherst tuning in and watching live from the rink as well. Probably a couple more watching online as well. Murphy stops up and he'll set up the power play breakout. Kicks it wide, out of the reach. Mosey skates past it, doesn't touch it because he was offside, and that'll go all the way for icing. A little bit of chatting here and behind the play. Griffin and Land. Cam Griffin coming into the game. He's got 22 points on the year. 9 goals, 13 assists, so got to keep an eye on number 14 for the Red Squad. Almost looking like the Halifax Mooseheads in their old retro red and green jerseys out here this morning. As it gets sent in, out to play it. Mond leaves it for Murphy. Murphy, 4 wide here up the ice. They'll swing it up to center. Murphy over the blue line, trying to sidestep a hit, gets taken out. And Duffy got a piece of Murphy, and that'll get sent all the way down. Mond plays it for Gamble. Gamble centers onto the stick and worked over the line. Here's McKay stopping up, setting things up, works it back to the point. Murphy shot there, glove saved by Mullins. Gamble in the far corner, slowing thing down, backdoor pass, doesn't connect. Here's McKay, pressured, off the puck. Brian trying to work it out. He'll find the man with some speed. Tremblay getting blue and dumping it in nice and softly in the corner. He'll apply a little pressure, but none to take himself out of the play. Gamble cutting up between 2 Subarus at center, has it in his feet, couldn't find it. He'll take it back. Murphy dishing it up to the far side wall, over the blue line offside as Griffin was in over the line ahead of the puck, and the face-off once again got to come outside the Subaru zone. 32 seconds remaining on the power play. 11:29 remaining on the first period clock. See if the Wild can't strike here first on the power play. Open the scoring up here. It'll be sent all the way down into the bench. Knock a couple of the sticks over by the Wild. Papolinski dumped it all the way down from in his by his ringette line, and that'll go all the way down in his zone. Papolinski wears the C for the Subarus this season. That puck worked DD by Burgess, down for Sparks. Takes his time and dumps it down. No high sticking as Mond plays it for Cameron into the corner. 2-man back now, 2-man swing on this breakout for the second unit for the Wild. Worked up over. Cameron trying to split through the D off the skate. Papolinski clearing attempt off the glove of Bystrick, and he holding his hand now as he'll head off. His hand is bleeding. It looked like maybe the tip of his finger had exploded as he heads to the bench. Yeah, now he's going to head to the room. Bystrick will have to go get for repairs, and the Subaru score. A point shot from Duffy, tipped in by Munden, and the Subarus lead 1-0. Munden tips it home, and the Subarus off to a 1-0 lead here against the Wild inside the Amherst Stadium. Nice little shot there from Duffy, finding the stick of Munden, and the Subarus with the first goal of the game. Off the draw, chipped in there, and right into the bench. Munden will chip it into the bench. That'll stop play. As we hope Bystrick's all right. It looks like maybe his pinky had got the little worse for wear. Papolinski trying to dump the puck all the way down for an icing. As now Bystrick's going to head to the dressing room down in the corner with the trainer. So he'll go get some medical attention. Hopefully everything's okay. He'll head off down into the corner, trying to figure out who got the secondary assist on that last Subaru goal. Duffy's going to be the only one to pick up the assist on the goal as of right now. Puck in the corner, centered out in front. Ryan can't get it. Back to the point. Land shot there, blocked out into the neutral zone for Duffy. Around the Amherst Ramblers sign, he'll dump it in at the blue line, take a bump for his efforts. Now he'll retreat to the top of the zone. Cycled down by Ryan in behind. Munden in the corner, back for Duffy. They connected on the last goal. Shot there, Duffy just over top, rebound off the end wall. Battled for him behind the net. Munden picks it off, back to the point, Land. Shot blocked. Allison trying to pressure the puck out of the zone. Duffy works it DD. Land shot there, blocked once again. As this team from PEI doing their job, helping their tendy out here. As Toombs tried to chip it out, gets a hit from 2 or 3 different players. As Land up over the blue line. He'll let a shot go. Mond holds on as the rebound sat loose for a second. And that'll be the first stoppage of play after the 10-minute mark, I believe. So we will see a quick 30-second timeout, I believe. If they remember, maybe not. They'll just keep playing. Okay, we're just going to keep playing on here. No TV timeout. No chance to catch your breath here. We'll just keep playing. Brian works it down low and behind the goal. Pressured by Murphy out front. Shot there. Rebound. Battled for. Still loose. Smith trying to bury it home. In there as well with Owen Sparks as the Wild come up with the puck. I thought it might have been covered. Heads up, big hit there at center near the middle of the ice. Murphy taking the worst of that. He'll work it back, sidestepping a hit there. Working it up was Brian offside as Ryan touches the puck. And a little bit of chippiness going on here in the within the game. A couple little stick whacks and stuff like that after the whistle. So see if anything carries over, but Munden with the first goal, assisted by Liam Duffy on a point shot, and a TV timeout now will be called here. So we'll take a quick 30-second break. We'll be back here for the second half of the first period here on High Button Sports. Welcome back here for the second half of this first period here inside the Amherst Stadium. Live on High Button Sports, the Subarus leading the Wild by a score of 1-0 here on a goal from number 21, Chase Munden, who opens the scoring here this morning. As icing called, I think. Measuring stick got brought out there, and an icing call charged to the Wild. Face-off's going to go all the way back down into their zone. Face-off, won by the Wild, behind their net, picked up. Nice little delay there, flipped up into the neutral zone. It could have been a 2-on-1. And a high stick call. Gamble apparently got a piece of it. Oh, and it wasn't Gamble, it was a Subaru player, so a high stick call is going to go all the way back down to the Sub zone as they're the first to touch it. As a Wild have an offensive zone draw now. Cameron and Hackett back on the point. Worked up. Burgess chips. Hackett can't collect it under his stick. Mon plays it around on the rim. Chipped up, trying to center. Burgess picks it off. Tremblay kicks it wide. Bryant, shot, scores! What a shot from the dot on the far side of the ice. Top shelf, and the Subarus lead by 2. Max Bryant with an absolute wicked shot there. Give his team a 2-0 lead here against the Wild. So he snapped that over the shoulder of the goaltender Cody Mon, and the Subarus lead by 2. Work D to D. Papolinski will elect to chip it up and out into the neutral zone. Now over into the Wild zone as it's chipped back. Land will have to go get it, and in his own zone, in front of his own goaltender, works it up. Trying to center it was Ryan. That's Sam Ryan who has the puck now. He'll chip it up the wall. Munden opened the scoring in this game. He'll walk it in, let a shot go. Can't get it as that puck cleared right into the Wild bench. As a lot of stoppage of play here so far in the first period. Yet to really get a good flow going here for both squads as faceoff's going to stay inside. Ryan in on the draw. He's going to try to push it forward. Hutt there up for the task. He'll collect that puck and now chip it up himself down the far side wall and over the blue line. Hutt gets it knocked over his stick by Henry. Carver trying to clear it. Picked off the point. Down. Here's a chance for the Wild. Hutt let the shot go, but up for the task. Silas Mullins for the Subarus with a shoulder save. Here's a chance. Another save by Mullins right into his chest as a shot came off the stick of Gamble, who walked over the dot area and let one go. Mullins pushes out into his chest and holds on. Face off to his glove hand side. Thanks for tuning in here on High Button Sports. Logan Carruthers joined here with you in home as the Wild trail by 2 against the Subs. Here in Amherst. Toombs takes a big hit there. Smith finishing his check. Puck shot in by James from the point. Picked up. Murphy walks over top. The circle shot there blocked by Smith. Smith doing a little bit of everything here as it's worked to his point. Now here's a shot. James blocks again by Smith. 2 blocks and a big hit here by Smith as he has the puck now in his own zone. Centers onto the stick of Burgess. His teammates showing some love from the bench as Toombs heads off for a change. Puck in the neutral zone, battled for here just inside the line. Duffy stepped up as Murphy takes a hit there by Smith. He'll head off. Tell the Subarus trying to get under the skin of Murphy. Everyone seems to have words for him as that shot there hit the old man as he was going down on the way to the net. McKay finishes check on Osman, who dumps the puck in. He's right back up and into the action. Cross ice pass intended out of the reach though of Mosi, and on net of Silas Mullins, who holds on for a whistle. Subaru short staffed here today. 5 D-man in the lineup, so we'll see if the Wild will pick up on that. Just try to get pucks in deep and forecheck them and get their D tired. Full lineup here for the Wild. Couple call-ups though, fill out their rosters. Here's a shot from the point, tipped wide. Wild now with a little bit of offensive zone time here now as it's cycled down for McKay, who's just going to leave it, trying to let Gamble get to it, who takes a hit from Papolinski on the far corner as the Subarus now work it up off the back of the linesman. Now worked up. Here's Sparks over the line. He'll drop it off. McPhee to Sparks down low, and Sparks runs over the man in front. That's Morgan taking the worst of that, trying to make a play there. Now as the Wild chip it into the neutral zone. McPhee will send it right back in, past Hackett, all the way down in the behind the goal line, rimmed up the wall. Kelly trying to chip it up the wall there. Doesn't connect, though, and now The Subarus have the puck picked up here. Brian, who scored the last goal on a beautiful shot there. He worked it for Henry. Cycles, Burgess cycling it down, Tremblay. Pinned against the end wall, puck in his feet. Brian in there to try to help out. Morgan comes out with it, chipping it up the wall to the point. Duffy holds the line. Takes a bump. No, says the official, as the puck must have went up into the bench maybe of the Wild. We'll see where the faceoff is, if it's inside or outside. Is it an offside call or puck into the bench? Puck into the bench. Faceoff's going to stay inside. Change up here. Carver, Munden, and Ryan will hop over for the offensive zone draw for the Subarus. One back, though, by the Wild. Rimmed on the backhand. Griffin trying to chip it out. Not Cam Griffin, though. That's number 17, Logan Griffin. Potential brother or cousin, maybe. Turnover in front of the net. Shot on and steered away by Mullins. Dowling holds the line, chips it in. Munden in behind, a big hit on the far side. Hackett steps up, takes away the icing, but delivers a massive blow there. Carver taking the hit. As that puck chipped out in the neutral zone. So the Wild, with that hit, get a little energy going. Their feet seem to be moving at a little bit of a quicker pace. Hackett takes a big hit there, and that's going to draw a crowd as Carver hit him right in the numbers as Carver retaliates, and that'll bring some players in. The bucket, or not the bucket, the visor, the fishbowl of the man who jumped in. It looked like it was Mills who had jumped in there to protect the man. Standing up for his teammate. Mills will head to the box. Carver will head to the box as well. We'll wait to see what Carver will get. There's a little bit of a little bit of talking going on here between Munden in behind the play. So Carver in the box as Mills gets his fishbowl back, as he might have to head to the bench for repairs on his helmet. As the helmet will head over to the bench now, get some repairs to the fishbowl. So in the meantime, Carver's going to sit in the box. We'll wait to hear the official call. Carver's going to get the boot. Carver is going to get the checking from behind sign. So Calvin Carver is going to hit the showers early, and that'll do it for his morning. I'll have to wait and see a potential suspension out of that, but Calvin Carver will head to the room, and the Subarus will go down another man here as their bench is already shortened up. So you want to take a look here, we'll take a quick peek here. They only got a few guys on their bench. Coming into the game, they were shorthanded. Now Carver to the room. It's going to bring another man to the box. It looks like it's going to be a 2-minute power play for the Wild. Has 2 minutes up on the board. Carver's morning ends here early. All right, yep, check from behind, right to the numbers, as they'll bring out a helmet with a cage on it for the man in the box. Looks like it's going to be Mills. Jet Mills jumping in to defend his teammates. He'll sit in the box for a minute or two. We'll see here. 2 minutes maybe. Something doesn't seem right though here. As now Mills will head to the room. As I'm now more confused than ever. So the Subarus with the power play. So I'd love to hear the explanation on this, because a hit from behind is a hit from behind. So there's 5. So did both players get the 5 and the extra 2? But I don't know what the 5-minute penalty would have been. So I'm really confused on how the extra penalty has gone to the Wild here because Carver's gone from the game for a hit from behind. I'm pretty sure Allison's just in the box to serve the 2-minute penalty for Mills, who is in the room getting his helmet worked on right now. Okay, so check from behind is going to be the 2. It's just going to be a 2, not a 5. So that's that. And then the 4 minutes for head contact. Munden is going to go to the box now, and that'll take away the power play. So as I was just trying to figure it out, the announcer said, so Mills has got the extra 2 for head contact. So he took a 4-minute head contact penalty. Now Munden's going to take a 2 for slash and head to the box. Or no, he's going to take a 4-minute. So that's going to be 4 minutes. Now I'm more confused because I don't know how you get a 4-minute slashing call. We'll wait to see. Or here, I guess. I don't know. The ref's definitely being involved here early, so we'll wait to see if they stay around for the whole game or maybe put the whistles away here, as physicality definitely going to pick up here as they try to settle things down. Kind of making it a little bit confusing for everyone, though, giving out 4s. 4 minutes for spearing the goalie, says the ref. I don't know. Normally that's slashing call, so maybe trying to even it up as the puck was loose. Mullins had trouble covering it. Papolinski coming back, finishing his check on Murphy, and they'll both head off for a change. So 4 minute for spearing to Munden. Kind of different call. Normally it's just 2 for slashing, but I don't know if the refs wanted to even. I don't know where that call came from. But 4 minutes for spearing. 51 seconds remaining on the, I guess, the second penalty, the head contact call. Only got 2 on the board, but took 4. But 2 were taken away because the check from behind to Carver as Hutt chips it in. Henry back for it first. Pressured, leaves it for Land, who chips it up the wall. Smith trying to chip it out, stepped up on there. Hackett keeping it inside the zone. Now it's worked here for Henry. Chipping it up into the neutral zone. Nice little play there by Smith to work it around the defenseman, kind of chip it in behind him. He'll get into it in the corner, or in behind the net. Gets to it first, cycles up. Henry steps in. One hands it down to the corner and stands up the man, James, as all 4 Subarus going to retreat back. They'll do it for the power play. I guess the 4-on-4. So now a power play here for 2 minutes and 25 seconds for the Wild. As that'll be kicked up here for Gamble, who works it over the blue line, down in behind the goal line. He tries to work it out front. It's steered away. Mullins in behind the net. Here's a chance. The Wild gets set up. Kensington Wild. McKay trying to center. It's picked off, and Burgess gets it out of the zone. McKay's going to have to go all the way back and behind his net. He'll stop and set things up. 3-man swing here for the Wild as it's kicked up the short side to center. Dump in attempt goes off the skate of Duffy. McKay back for Murphy in their own zone by the ring out line. Gamble centers up in the air, doesn't connect with anyone. That goes all the way down, icing Carl against the Kensington Wild here with 56 seconds remaining on the clock. Wait to see what side the draw goes on. Looks like it's going to be to the glove hand side on the icing. Brian will dig in on his backhand. He has Duffy and Papolinski behind him, so we're inside the last minute to play here in the opening period. 2-0 the lead here for the Subarus as the Kensington Wild look to cut that in half here with a late power play that'll carry into the second period, but they were trying to score maybe before the second period to take it up a notch here. Griffin in the slot trying to toe drag, can't do so as it gets taken away and chipped out by Brian. Mond plays it up, Nice little pass there as it's worked up here. 25 seconds remaining on the clock. Murphy over the blue line. He'll make a move. Murphy walks in. Shot there past the glove and wide. All the way down into their zone. 15 seconds remaining here in the period. Picked up. Centering pass onto the stick of Henry, who stops it and sends it right down. Mond will play it. He'll hold on to it, and with 5 seconds left, that centering chip play all the way down into the skates of Land will do it here for the opening 20 minutes of play. So after 20 minutes, the Subarus lead by a score of 2-0. We'll be back here for our second period of action live on High Button Sports after this 15-minute intermission. Welcome back here for our second period of action here inside the Amherst Stadium as we get set for puck drop here to start the second period. As see at the bottom of the screen, I think one of the maybe trainers for the PEI team is actually trying to figure out what maybe they should do here. Trying to figure out the finger of the man who went off earlier to the room. I believe that was Bystrick who headed off holding his finger. It looked a little bit not comfortable, let's just put it that way, as it's worked. Here's a chance. Munden off the side of the net, as that was Max Bryan who created the turnover for himself and got in there but couldn't sneak it around the outside of the net. Now here McKay over the line. McKay in behind, wraparound attempt off the side of the net as well, as that'll be a call here. Looks like it's going to be 2 for boarding as the man goes into the boards. It'll be a head contact call. Okay. So 4 for head contact is going to be the call. I thought it was going to be 2 for boarding. A lot of 4-minute penalties here today. As we continue 46 seconds into the second period, a power play upcoming here. The Subarus work it back to the point. Duffy for Ryan, back for Duffy. He'll mishandle the puck at the blue line and work it out. In the neutral zone, Duffy back into his own zone now. Cuts to the middle, up through the neutral zone. Duffy kicks it short side. Tremblay walks in, trying to find a stick. He'll off the skate and work it back to the point. Duffy for Ryan. Cross ice pass shot there. Papolinski, who has already taken one of the players out with one of his shots, gets it on the far side. Papolinski's shot off the outside of the net and wide. Here's a chance. Tremblay trying to cut to the middle and loses handle and sent down. The Wild will change 3 of the 4 killers. Hackett's going to stay on. Munden, far side, centers, shot there. Tremblay just got it off. Got a little stick there and in front as man laying on top of Mond. Papolinski in there, grabs 2 men. He's like, you get off of Tremblay. Papolinski wearing the C and showing why. He was right in there to stick up for his teammates, and he grabbed 2 guys. And the last time I seen that was actually a former Halifax McDonald, Josh Nicholson. He was playing for the South Shore Lumberjacks in the Junior A League. Guys crashed the net, and he grabbed 2 of them out of the pile and started throwing with both of them, and that would have been probably the last time I'd seen that. So a little bit of a Josh Nicholson type move, I guess, there. Shout out to him. I don't know, he probably isn't tuning in, but probably out building a house or something here this weekend. Now Carpenter, one of the former players on our team's dad, actually. Here's a chance out in front. Land steps in, blocker save. Mon up for the task. Bryan picks up the rebound, gets it knocked off away from him and sent down by the Wild. Another time, obviously, you can all remember Dustin Bufflin doing that and pulling guys out of the pile, so that would have been a little bit longer ago than when Josh would have done it there, probably 3 years ago. Bufflin would have been a little bit before his time, as that's a shot sent wide. That puck cleared off the glass into the neutral zone. Great job to get it out of harm's way there was Malcolm James. McPhee in his own zone, circles, takes some time, works it up to the far side. Bryant cuts the middle, dishes it. McDonald, shot there. Bryant tipped on, big pad save by Mount, and that'll draw a crowd. Mount at the bottom of it, his head kind of crushed in, and now Mount gets out of it. Cody Mount, and it looks like James is really upset as Bryant's still down in front of the net. Mount slow, still not up to his feet. He's kind of laboring there. Both men still laying in front of the net. Bryant hands up, kind of wanting a call maybe Little stop play here, so lots of action. Not even 3 minutes into the second period. We'll wait to see the call. Looks like Brian's going to go to the box. Max Bryant, 2 for slashing. So I question now is, why is the 2 for slashing a 2 for slashing this time and not a 4 for spearing this time? So that's kind of where I'm like, okay, so if it's a 4 for spearing the first time, why isn't it a 4 for spearing this time? Now I'm pretty sure the Wild 5-on-3, as I think a 2-minute penalty is going to go on the board, I think because of the 4-minute head contact to take it away. Now the linesmen want to talk with the ref, and this is the problem when you get into calling all types of penalties in 4 minutes and 2 minutes and offsetting 2s and 4s is a 5-on-3 for the Subarus for a whole 2 minutes. So the Subs up, 2-man advantage here in the second period, not even 3 minutes into the game. Now more confusion, and as I said it, bringing in more confusion to the game with all these 2s and 4s and offsetting penalties and slashings and spearings and head contacts that sometimes are 2 and slashes that are 4 minutes that are turned into spearings. And the problem is now they need an extra guy in the box. And this is exactly the problem that we run into here when you call all sorts of penalties and really just standing up for their goalie. The man drove the net and landed up on their goalie, just trying to get him off, and they end up with a 4-minute head contact penalty out of it and a 5-on-3 for the Subarus. 7:14 left in the second. Papolinski stops, walks it in, shot. That's blocked into the corner. Burgess on the half wall, back to the point, Henry. Papolinski one-timer fanned on. Far side, worked back to Papolinski. Toombs in there, spinning away. He'll elect to pin it and try to kill as much time off the clock as he can. Minute 35 remaining on the double. Penalty here. Down low, Burgess in the corner, pressured as the Wild trying to pressure the puck out of the zone. Got to be careful here not to get too far outside their box, or I guess their triangle. This walked in, Henry shot high off the glass. Over here on the short side, Tremblay collects it, walks in. Tremblay, kick save, rebound in the slot. Hackett will backhand it past land and all the way down into the Subaru zone, killing off the first minute of this 5-on-3. Picked up through the neutral zone, over the blue line, centers. Munden, far side, shot there, land, whiffs it wide. McPhee up top to the middle, down for Tremblay, centers off the stick, and the Wild kill off that. The Wild coming into this game, their PK sits at 80% and their power play at 22% on the season. So combining for the special team ratio of 102. Most teams try to sit around 100, so we'll see if they can execute the PK here as it's worked over. Here's a shot there, blocked by Munden in front, didn't make it all the way to Mond. 17 seconds remaining, puck on the far side corner. Murphy and Ryan get tangled up. 4-on-2 almost is the man now. Murphy gets back, shot there, saved by Mond. Murphy collects, clears up to through the middle of the ice as the stick in the arm of Murphy. And behind the play, now it gets let go. 2 men out of the box, turned over. Here's Gamble with Griffin. Gamble over, trying to center off the stick in front of the bench now. Picked up just inside the blue line, sent back down by Mosi. Papolinski, far side, trying to work it up the wall. Here's a turnover into the high slot. Backhand shot set wide past the glove. Around to the far side, Munden picks it up. High chip into the neutral zone. Gamble back into his feet. He goes down. Munden, far side, sends it in. Back to 5-on-5 air action. The Wild kill off the 2-minute 5-on-3 here for the Subarus. Duffy in his own zone, chipping it off the glass. Far side, chipped in as the Subs look to chip and chase. Here's Smith trying to work it out front. Steered away by Munn. Puck still loose. Picked up. Wild. Far side. He gets taken down. Spun off the play there by Smith was Griffin. Puck sent in. The Subarus now have some feet under them here as they look to get in on the forecheck. Smith centers, fans on it. Morgan intercepts, backhands it to the point. Shot there. Dowling blocks. Chipped up. Griffin all the way down. Will it have enough? Him and Smith in behind the play. Get tangled up as Smith finishing his check. Gamble just outside the blue line, dumps it in. Delayed offside call. So Henry will have his time to work it up over the line. Henry trying to center. Sparks off his stick. Bouncing puck. Mon steers it into the corner. Griffin, D-to-D for Dowling. Doesn't connect. And a big hit there on Murphy in the corner. Buck to the point. Move around one. Henry shot. Rebound. Steered away now in behind McKay. Trying to break away. He falls. That puck sent wide. And that'll be icing offside. I don't know. As that'll be picked up. Subaru's action back and forth. Stretch pass goes off the stick of Ryan. No icing. Dowling back in the corner. Him and Ryan are going to battle. Puck in the corner. Murphy pokes up to McKay off of his stick. McDonald down in the corner. Trying to work it out. Here's Ryan in behind the net. Ryan centers. Puck still loose in front. Dowling clears it out away for McKay, who centers. Murphy through the neutral zone. 2-on-4. Shot on. Blocker saved by Mullins. Brady Allison chipping it down around Munn. Finishing his hit in the corner. Puck to the point. And now worked out. Here come the Subs. 3-on-3. Papolinski jumps up in the play. Papolinski finishing his check. The Wild look to get things moving back up ice. Ryan to it first. Chips it in. Takes a hit from Brady Allison. The call up here for the Wild. Move around one. Losing into his feet. Hackett has to drop it back off. Into the corner. Move around one or two is Cameron. Nice little play there. Griffin with the puck through the neutral zone. Griffin chipping into the body. Trying to get it back. Can't do so. Hot in there. Pressuring the puck. Kelly off the bench, down low. Gamble centers, Hot trying to get past the glove there, and a big hit there in the far side corner. Smith doing his job. Puck worked up. Sparks and over the blue line, down low into the goal line. Sparks in the corner, poked away from him by Hackett. Hackett cycling, far side for Cameron. Backhanding it up. Reading that as McPhee. Give and go, trying to give. Can it get back on the go as that puck picked off here. Kelly on the centering attempt, loses handle as he runs into his own man, turned over. Smith, far side, corner, battles with Cameron. Sparks in there, Smith to the point. McPhee, D-to-D. Here's Henry, back to the middle. Puck under the stick of Burgess and chipped out. All the way into the Subaru zone, not enough for icing. As McPhee, stretch pass, here's a chance. Tremblay in alone, Tremblay draws a penalty, rebound as Munden shut the door. Mound shuts the door and a hooking call. And McKay is going to go and so two more guys are going to go to the box. A hooking call. Going to be charged to Dowling, and McKay's going to go for 10. So 3 guys back in the box for the Kensington Wild here, 11:22 remaining. Another power play for the Subarus. Ryan walks it in, shot, blocker saved by Mound. Wild, clear it. Good job there by Gamble. Mullins stops it up. Duffy picks it up. Pressure by Mosey. Mosey through the neutral zone. On the back check, sent in by Duffy. All the way around. Ryan can't control it, just inside the zone. Mosey tips it. Here's a one-on-one. Gamble against Duffy. Shot blocked by Duffy. Picking it up. Mosey into the corner. Duffy losing his glove. Papolinski, D-to-D on the rim. Picked up here with speed. Down the far side. Sparks over the blue line. Down and low. Tremblay is it. Actually takes a big hit there as Murphy finishes his check. Cleared to the point. Held in. Duffy. Papolinski. Shot. Steered away as Munden looked for the rebound to bury it home. That'll be cleared all the way down the length of the ice. Tremblay finishing his check. He'll head off to the bench. Duffy spinning around one. He'll reverse back for Papolinski, who sets it behind the net. Now he'll take a step out. He's got man on each side of him. Papolinski right up the middle of the ice. Gets center, dumps it in hard on the glass. Into the short side here now. Breen holds his face even though he's got a cage on. Puck to the point, McDonald stops up. Back for McDonald, here in the point. Works it back down low, give and go. Touch pass there, McDonald's got to get to it. Worked back as Tremblay found McDonald. Far side, back for Tremblay, one-timer, scores! Tremblay capitalizes on the power play opportunity, and the Subarus lead by 3. What a one-timer there by Tremblay. Travis Tremblay let that go, and no chance for Cody Mond, my apologies, to make the save, and a TV timeout here. Inside 10 minutes remaining. We'll be back after this 30-second break here live on High Button Sports. Welcome back here for the second half of the second period. The Subarus lead by 3. Make sure Tremblay gets all set. Fixing his elbow pad here. Face off at center ice after another power play goal by the Subarus, as they've had a few power plays here this afternoon. Puck chipped in. As that's over, chipped into the neutral zone. Bryan with the puck over the blue line. Bryan, toe drag, tries to get a shot away, works it out front. Now back to the point where McPhee will walk, let a shot go, and it's blocked. Out of the bench, out of the box is Mills. Haven't seen him yet. Here is a chance. Here's Griffin. It's taken down, no call. They'll play on. Puck into the corner, trying to center. Can't do so as it's picked up here by Bryan. Cutting around one through the neutral zone. Max Bryan over the line. Making a move now. He can't get around that defenseman as Dowling and Bryan mix up. Bryan has the stick of Dowling behind the play. McDonald trying to chip it up and in. Just inside the red line there. Can't do so. Far side, Henry heads off for a change. Mond plays it over for Morgan. D-to-D, Munden in on a forecheck. Chipping it up into the neutral zone. Land gloves it to Stick. Can't get a stick on it, though, as that puck gets sent in now by Chase Munden. He has the opening goal. Mound plays it for Morgan behind the net. He'll rim it up the wall. Griffin connects in the middle. That'll be worked up. Here's Murphy. Lets a shot go, blocker save. And the ref goes down in the corner. Toombs cycles it down low. Griffin to it in the behind the net, centers, back up to the point. Dowling for Cameron, walks, fakes a shot. Cameron's shot blocked by Ryan. Cycled down low, Griffin, little backhand pass there. Murphy in tight, Murphy bangs it once or twice and the puck goes. Murphy got his hands up in the cage there. I don't know why that's not a head contact call. 4 minutes for head contact. Hands got in the cage, right? He's been calling it all game. I don't know why he doesn't call that one. Not being biased here, just trying to be honest, because that was the other way around. I'm just saying there could have been a penalty. Seemed like any other scrum that was going on after the whistle. They were taking one or two guys to the box. Puck was loose. Murphy was trying to bang it home, and guys were all over him. I don't know why the whistle went. The puck was still loose. The ref blow it down once again. Subarus probably getting away with the penalty there. That hands up in the face of Murphy. Campbell, puck in his feet on the turnover. Sticks up high there, going to the bench. Shot there, set wide past Mullins. Burgess spinning away from one. Kicking it to the wall. Held in at the line by Hackett. Takes a bump, shot on. Mullins steers away. Shot there from a sharp angle, high and wide. Cameron steps in from the point. Moves, trying to make around McPhee. Can't do so as they'll jump up 2-on-2. Smith, shot off the stick and out of play. Gamble and Smith now tie up in the corner. Smith's hand right up there. Why isn't that a penalty? So is there going to be a penalty here? Look, the hands are in the face. Both teams. They were called 4-minute head contact penalties earlier in the game, but not now. So now the refs are going to decide to put the whistle away here in the second half of the second period. Interesting. Very, very interesting. We'll wait to see if anything comes of it. No, so a couple cross checks each, a little face washing each. First period, or in the first half of this period, both guys right to the box, 4 minutes head contact. Well, now, nothing. They just let them do it. So very interesting. The consistency, maybe not right where it should be here in Amherst. Shot on, pad save, rebound, kicked away. Bryan centers up to the point. Henry collects it. He'll walk, take a shot on net. Mound up for the task once again. He's let three past him, but they've been tough ones. A couple power play goals here for the Subarus. Henry goes back. He works it D-to-D. Centers. Bryan through the neutral zone. Max Bryan dishing it wide, getting it back or trying to. Nice defensive play there. Far side James chipping it to the point. McPhee back down the wall up to Allison, who will leave it there. Here's a 3-on-2 for the Wild. They can get moving up ice. Allison over the line, dropping it back down. Now 2-on-2 down low. Hackett steps in on the errant pass, working it back down low. Allison kicking it out front, shot there, and the puck, and the whistle goes again. And a great chance for the Wild. See how much the net was off its bearings. We'll wait to see it go back on, because that's why the whistle apparently went. Oh, yeah. Very off its bearings. It was nudged maybe an inch off. That'll stop play. Puck one back. Dowling shot, pad saved by Mullins. Murphy in the corner. Centers. Tomes trying to find the back of the net there as Murphy Dowling at the point. He'll let a shot go. Tipped in and scores! Griffin on the tip in, and he nets home his team leading 23rd point of the season. Cam Griffin makes it 3-1 on a nice tip. Dowling will get the assist as well with Murphy. So Murphy and Dowling are going to pick up the assist, and a 3-1 game here. 5:53 remaining. Wild trying to get back here within one before the end of the second period. Chipped in. Gamble going to give chase. McPhee in the corner. His cage comes off. Big hit there by Henry, finishing his check. Mills and him have a couple words as they skate up ice. Dowling, far side. McPhee trying to figure out his cage. It's completely off. He'll head off for the change as the bottom straps have come off on both sides. Delayed icing call here going to be charged against the Subarus. As I'll try to show you what I'm talking about. The straps for the cage of McPhee had went through the clips, so he'll have to go get that attended to as face-off in the Subaru zone. Face-off, one back, shot on, blocker save by Mullins. Down low, Murphy centers, back to the point. Hackett, shot blocked. Into the corner, Toombs cycles onto the stick of the Subaru's man. Chip back to the point. Hackett down to one knee to try to keep it in. And it goes past him. Here's a chance. Munden around the defender and loses handle in behind the net. Puck on the half wall. To the middle. Cameron will end up going behind his net, taking away some of the pressure. Picked up here, Toombs trying to chip it around Smith. Can't do so. Murphy picks up the loose puck in behind his own net. He'll cycle it around over to the far side. Picked up. Griffin takes a bump for his efforts. It's turned over at center and dumped in here by Duffy. Hackett, far side. 4:30 remaining here in the second period. He'll spin away for a check. Kick it up. Griffin losing it in the feet on the centering pass. Here's a turnover in the slot shot there by Smith, sent wide. Smith to it first in the corner, worked it back. Land takes a hit, cycling it down low. Burgess collects it on the far side. Ethan Burgess pressured 1-on-2. Puck into his feet, trying to work it out. Griffin into the neutral zone. Over short side Land, dumps it right back in. Hackett over to the far side, pressured by Osmond. Cameron turns it over on the D-to-D attempt. Murphy there to help out, works it back off the glove, into all the way down. Land, that's going to be a hand pass. Nope, that one's missed as well. So that puck now held right back down into the Subaru zone. Puck worked up, Land kicks it wide over the blue line. That'll be dumped in over to the short side here. Collecting it, Burgess to the point, McPhee. Back down low, McDonald. Shot there from a sharp angle, rebound McDonald. Is that puck chipped up into the neutral zone. Worked back. Subaru's on the forecheck. James trying to get it up from Tremblay. Tremblay's going to kick it to McDonald, who will find Brian. Shot there, deflected high. At the point, McPhee walks in, shot blocker save. Mond up for it again. Hutt in the corner, trying to work it up. Brian turns it over as he got it picked off of his stick and worked back. Here's down the far side. Kelly can't get around McPhee. Tremblay, far side, touches it. McDonald, skate to stick, shot there, cycled wide. Puck back to the point. McPhee fakes a shot, back down for Tremblay. Looks cross ice. Here's Brian's shot there, goes up off the blocker as the Subarus now with some sustained pressure. Papolinski lets a shot go, blocked by Dowling. Trying to work it out front. Couple stops up in behind the net. That's Brian. McDonald now through the feet. Brian trying to stuff it up the short side. Brian goes down. Puck goes to the corner. Puck worked back to the point. Munden lets a shot go. Pad save by Mond. Down low, Sparks pressuring at a long extended shift here for the Wild. They need a stoppage of play. Ryan back to the point, shot high. Past the glove hand side, McPhee stops up, walks, looks back door. Ryan, shot, short side, goes off the glass, back to the far side point. McPhee cycles down low. James out of gas, trying to get to it. Puck pinned down. Dowling trying to get to it as well. Munden finishes his hit there. That was Gamble. Back down low, Ryan for Munden. Leaves it for McPhee. Takes a step in. McPhee shot there, blocked. It's in the feet there. Is that puck off the glass and now into the neutral zone. Papolinski and Ryan. Mills will pressure that puck. Puck up to the blue line. Gamble trying to keep it in. Now into the neutral zone. James dumps it in, heads off for a change. Puck cleared up. Here's a chance. Munden with a step. Munden. Good stick there by Moores. Is that puck now chipped up? Here's Griffin. Has a step. Griffin has to beat Duffy. He'll slow down, trying to go through the feet of Duffy. He'll get taken off the puck there. Was Cam Griffin. Griffin down low, trying to work it out front. Rebound. Loose in front. Griffin shot. Steered away by Mullins once again. Puck cleared up the wall. Munden chips to the point. Taking his time. He'll walk it in. 35 seconds remaining. Murphy, cross ice pass, nice feed shot there, blocked in front. Clearing attempt, can't get it out. Cameron shot, rebound loose, trying to get it around him as Henry takes out the man. As Henry still battling down there as that puck cleared all the way down, no icing call. 10 seconds remaining here on the clock in the second period. Cameron, Toombs leaves it for Murphy, trying to center. Burgess bumps into him. That puck chipped back into the neutral zone, and that'll do it here for the second period. So after 2 periods of play, Subarus lead 3-1 off a couple power play goals, as we'll be back here 15 minutes time for the third period of action here live on High Button Sports. And welcome back here for a third period of action between the Dartmouth Steele Subaru and the Kensington Monahan Farm Wild here. As we get set for third period of action, they'll start 5-on-5 here. 3-1 lead for the Subs coming into the third. So we'll face off here at center ice. 31 to drop the puck, and we are underway. The Subs off the draw. We'll try to work it in here as it's turned back up the other way. The Wild. Must be something around that blue line there, tripping everyone up as they cross up and over that blue line there into the Wild zone. That puck sent in. Trying to slow himself down was Tremblay as he goes into the boards. Puck centered up through the neutral zone. Now that'll be Murphy who works it in. A little bit of hooting and hollering coming down from below us here as that puck worked up to the neutral zone. Tremblay over the line. He works it up. He'll try to work it around the man. He does, into the corner, who cycles it back and all the way out into the neutral zone where Land will collect it. Land up to the wall, worked in. Here's a shot there from McDonald. That went wide. Ryan off the bench, picks the puck up. At the point, Papolinski backhands off of Ryan. Ryan picks it up, shot there, fanned on. Back the other way. Here come the Wild, down the far side, trying to work it around the man was Moores into the corner. He'll turn it over now. Centers in front, picked off by the Subaru player and worked up to the wall. Job to stick with it was Sparks as it's worked back to the neutral zone and chipped up. McKay, he'll dish it wide, has Gamble up the middle. That'll be touched to center and dumped in. Papolinski in behind his own net. He'll wheel with the puck. Papolinski heads up. That goes up into the crowd on the far side and out of play. Papolinski tried to chip and chase off the glass to himself, but had it flip up on his stick and up into the stands. A kid over there with the Pikachu hat is going to get the puck, so he'll go home with a little souvenir as he heads over to see Dad. And Dad, look what I just got. Here inside the Amherst Stadium, shot backhand off the glove as Silas Mullins tried to grab it but had a little problem with it there. Looking backdoor, tying up Kelly was Burgess as it's worked back to the point. Osmond too far out of his reach, trying to chip it out. As now it'll be the Subs up to their own blue line, chipped up here for Smith. Smith over the line down into the hash marks area. So that's rimmed around. Griffin far side, chipping it up. Mills far side wall, chips it up, and Henry will dump it right back into the zone. Cameron off the boards all the way out into the neutral zone. Henry picks it up as he'll work it back here for Duffy. Short side, Duffy makes a move to the middle around one, trying to backhand it, bobbles it, turns it over. Dowling chipping it off the ref, or on the linesman. He'll come. Here's a shot block. Dowling on the rebound, takes it again, shot, and that'll be held on to this time by Silas Mullins for a whistle. 17:28 remaining here on the clock in the third and final period of regulation. Be sure to stay tuned as the RNS Riverhawks will face off against the Kings Edgehill Highlanders about half an hour after this game is over. So head over to High Button Sports today and be sure to tune in for the game after, and a hand pass will whistle and stop play down. Face-off's going to come outside. Allison stopped the clearing attempt with his hand, but wasn't the first to touch it, and it'll stop play. Face-off just below us here. Tremblay, see him. He'll line up next to the call-up Allison, who had gloved it down to create the glove pass, and that icing call, arid pass there, goes off the stick of Land, who was trying to stretch out the zone, but it'll go all the way down, icing called. Hutt on the offensive zone draw. They'll have a quick chat there. He's out with Gamble and Allison here for this offensive zone draw. Hutt battles off the draw. Shot there, Brian has the stick of Hutt in his hand there on the draw. As the Wild with a couple opportunities. Gamble in there on the forecheck. Duffy reverses. Nice little move. Land works it back for Duffy. Duffy, cross ice pass. Goes right under the stick of McDonald, who crossed the line. Drop pass, Tremblay. Shot there off the stick and high over top of the net. Into the corner. Picking it up. Hutt down the wall. He gets pinched off just by his bench there as Brian trying to work it around. Can't do so. It gets knocked off of his stick. Brian gets taken down, and now he's going to lay down on the ground like he's hurt. Shot there, sent wide. He seems to be fine now. Up, grabs his stick and right back into the action. He was going to go net front. He'll give a guy a whack on the way off to the bench. Is that puck chipped up? Here's McPhee, 1-on-2, shot wide, high off the glass, all the way back into the neutral zone. A bit of a game within the game. McPhee's going to have to go get a different stick. This looks maybe a little bit too big for him. I don't know if he has maybe Papelinski's stick, but that stick looks too long. His stick actually got hit with the puck there as it lays down on the ice. That's chipped into the neutral zone. Murphy, shot there. Papelinski off the blocker. Over to the close side here. Sparks center, shot there, saved by Mond. Big pad save there by Cody Mond to keep his team within 2. As it's chipped up, lofted into the zone. Subs work it back. Here's a chance, 3-on-2. Down the wall, toe drag shot. Ryan, rebound loose in front. Munden buries it home. Chase Munden with his second goal of the game gives the Subarus their 3-goal lead back, and a 4-1 lead now for Dartmouth Steele Subaru as Munden gives a little extra celly to their bench, so that'll fire the Kensington Wild players up. So a little bit of insult, a little bit of salt in the wound there thrown on by Chase Munden, and gave a little extra to the Wild bench, who now trail by 3. Face off at center ice. One back. Chipped up the wall. Smith finishing his check in behind the play. Worked up down on the far side. Here's McKay. Centers. Sidesteps a hit into the neutral zone. Collected. Duffy at center. Dumps it right back in. Chipped back once again into the neutral zone. Henry spinning away from some pressure as Gamble, as it's turned over. Mosi in front. Here's a chance. Scores! McKay on the turnover by Henry. And the Wild have some life again. They're back within 2. 14:50 remaining in the third period. Nice little feed from Mosi to find McKay, and McKay puts them back within 2 here shortly after the goal from Chase Munden. So Munden could be thinking, oh, did I just start something? I don't know if I want to continue here. As answering quickly, the Kensington Wild bring it back within 2 now, 4-2 here inside the Amherst Stadium. Live on High Button Sports, the Subs versus the Wild. Papelinski works it up the wall. Dowling will collect it in his own zone. In front of his net, he'll backhand it, picked off. McDonald in front, here's a chance. Tremblay, shot goes wide. Cycled back down low into the feet. McDonald trying to find it. Picked up though. Loose puck, chipped up. Mills moves around. Land trying to get around him. Nice defensive play there by Land to keep him to the outside. Turn it back into the neutral zone. Morgan, got to be careful there as it was almost turned back over. Here's Brine sidestepping a check and an offside call at the line. As Brian will hear a couple extra little words. Good thing there's no microphone down there from the Kensington bench. Face off, battled for. Munden will draw it back. Inside the zone, chipped right back into the neutral zone. The Wild Trying to get some offensive zone time here at the Subarus, just putting everything in deep. Dowling takes out Munden. And now it's going to be an extra penalty as Munden flopped down to his backside. And Dowling will take an extra one. I wonder if it's going to be 4 minutes for head contact as it's touched up. Roughing will be the call. Dowling will sit as he took out Chase Munden. As they battled a little bit, as they tried to get up, and Munden flopped back down to his backside and drew the call. So the faceoff's going to stay inside. Another power play upcoming here for the Dartmouth Steele Subaru squad. Face off, one back by the Subarus. Duffy cycles. Far side, Ryan will walk in, shot, glove save, and that'll be held on to calmly there by Mound. Roughing the call, just 2 minutes. 13:37 here remaining in the third period. Wild trail by 2 as they try to kill off this penalty and get back on even strength. Duffy has to get his feet moving a little quicker there. He gets to the puck and turns it up ice. Liam Duffy through the neutral zone, gets center. Or no, says the official. Duffy gets taken down by Murphy. Papolinski right there for a couple words. An icing call, charge to the Subarus. Probably brought the measuring stick out there. Duffy was awful close to center ice. So the ruler brought out for the icing call there, and an icing call charge to the Subarus here on the power play. So an offensive zone draw upcoming here for the Wild. Shorthanded Toombs and Hutt out there here on the draw. Puck, one back. Papolinski takes his time. He'll kick it to the far side. That'll be collected Tremblay. He's got one in the game already. Travis Tremblay, chip and chase for himself. Munden in there to support him. Ryan leaves it there. Ryan will cycle it back down. Munden out of the corner, spinning it back on for Tremblay. Or sorry, that's Ryan. Has Tremblay right here now. Tremblay dishes wide. Papolinski shot, rebound, and a big stick save. Desperation stick save there as Munden was looking for 3. And Cody Mond up for the task. Munden head to the rafters. Can't believe it. He had the wide open cage and ended up shoveling right off the stick and up and out of play. Minute and 2 seconds remaining on the power play here, as that'll be picked up by Kelly and dumped all the way down. Mullins out to play it. He'll kick it wide here for McPhee. McPhee through the neutral zone, gets to the blue and dumps it in. Mound out to play it. He'll shoot it off the glass up to the half wall. That gets chipped around Brian. McPhee with a nice little move at the point. Backdoor pass intended for Brian, doesn't connect. Brian cycles down low. Hackett to it in the corner. Pressured though. Smith turns it over. Smith down low. Works it back to the point. Doesn't connect though, as that went past McDonald and all the way down. Mullins out there. Left it there for McPhee, who picks up his speed behind his net and works it through the neutral zone. McPhee has some pressure on the back. That's Mills on the back check. Backdoor pass for McPhee, doesn't connect. Off the boards, into the middle of the ice. Puck cleared down as that puck bounces away from Mullins. Mosey to it first. Saucer pass, connects in the slot. Gamble had it knocked just away from him as he had an opportunity right off the bench. A nice little saucer pass from the forecheck of Mosey. Henry down the far side. He'll sneak around one. Henry's shot into the chest, held calmly for a whistle by Mond. 11:29 remaining here in the third and final period of regulation. Faceoff's going to stay inside blocker hand side of Cody Mond. Burgess in here for the offensive zone draw. Subarus win it. They'll cycle it back down low. Osman trying to work it out. He gets pinched off in the corner. Centering pass picked up off the saucer there was Gamble. Chips it in high off the glass and behind the net. Mullins looking for it in behind his net. It gets over to the far side and a big hit there by Sparks, who lights McKay up. D-to-D pass doesn't connect. Osman in the corner. He'll spin away from some pressure as Mosi in there pressuring once again. Worked up to the neutral zone. Picked up here. Dowling up ahead. Trying to find Hutt off the bench. Ends up going onto the stick, and Henry works it back up the far side. Burgess here with speed. Trying to cut to the middle. Turned over. Kick to the wall. And doesn't connect. Hutt. Hands up high on Osman. No call on the play there. They'll play on. McDonald off the bench, picks it off, pressures Hackett, who chips it up. Here's McKay over the blue line, centers Hutt. Toe drag shot there, picked off Duffy. Right back up into the neutral zone. McDonald over the blue line. He'll walk it in, trying to toe drag around James into the corner, loses it. Up to the point. Bryan takes his own man down, trying to get to that puck as it's chipped past Polinski. Here's Griffin to it first. Has Allison out front. Trying to center, can't do so as it's chipped back up the far side. Stepping up, getting center. James trying to chip it in, goes off the body in front there of Griffin. Now down the far side, Bryan over the line. Stops up, trying to go through his feet. Nice stick there by Cameron to take away the fancy play by Max Bryan, who tried to attempt to go through the feet around the defenseman. Read perfectly, though, as Polinski couldn't control it cleanly. He'll just dump it back into the corner where Tremblay centers for McDonald. Backdoor pass. Bryan trying to shovel one home. Puck loose, cleared away. Allison trying to clear, knocked off his stick. Polinski's shot. Allison got his stick in there to disrupt it and up and out of play. It's Brady Allison getting the call up here as the 1 minute clock starts to tick down. We'll be back here for the remaining 9 minutes and 30 so seconds here live on High Button Sports after this short TV timeout. Welcome back here for the final 9 minutes and 30 seconds of this matchup here in the crossover showcase weekend here in Amherst. The third place Subarus facing off against the fourth place Kensington Wild. Wild will work it up. Here's Murphy dumping it in right on Mullins, who will drive the net, and Mullins taking a bump from his own player. That was McPhee, ended up hitting him, and Murphy, who drove the net, gonna get a little bit of attention there, as he'll head off for a change. 3 new offensive players out now for the Kensington Wild. Gamble has McKay lined up behind him. Mosi out there with them on the offensive zone draw. Gamble wins it back. McKay dishing it wide. Back up top. Here's a chance. They'll walk it in. Morgan dishing it over to the far side. They can't get too cute with it. They got to try to get some pucks towards the net here onto Mullins and see if they can't generate something. Back to the point. Morgan holds the line. Flipping it back down. Duffy glove to stick. Knocked off of his stick though. Lamb spins. Far side. Morgan jumps in. Shot there. Sent wide. That puck chipped high up in the air into the neutral zone. Morgan back for it. Chip around. Can't get around his body around the man there on the forecheck as now Gamble kicks it up into the neutral zone. Land, glove to stick up over the blue line. Here's Land. Shot there. Glove save. Cody Mond up for a task again as Burgess gets into it a little bit there after the whistle. face-off glove or blocker side of Mond. Burgess in there on the offensive zone draw. Lost it though. Cameron in the corner takes a big run. Cameron got run at, but he stands the man up, and out was Smith. Smith in on the forecheck. Hackett reverses, far side. Up off the glass to the point. Papolinski. Good job there to kick it up to his man. Smith picking it up in the high slot, working it down. Here's a chance. Smith shot there, blocked. His man goes down on the attempt to get to that puck. The whistle's completely gone away here in the third period by the two men with the red armbands. Where in the second period, it seemed like he couldn't really do anything without getting a penalty, and now they're seemingly getting away with kind of everything here, so interesting. I think players maybe now trying to figure out what they can and can't get away with. Seemingly like the Wild couldn't really do much of anything, and that'll be an icing call. Seemed like the Wild couldn't really do much of anything in the second period. And now the whistles have gone completely away, so the Wild really just trying to figure out what is acceptable and what is not, and that is probably the most frustrating thing as a player, as the one period you can't do anything, and then the next it seems like there's no real anything. You can kind of get away with whatever you want. As that puck gets sent all the way down into the neutral zone, all the way back just inside the ringette line. Dowling will pick it up and work it up here for Murphy. Chip it between his feet all the way down. Brian, he'll get it. Rim it a hard rim for McDonald on the far side. Picks up with some speed, has Tremblay with him. Can't get around the man. Mills picks up the loose puck, centers. Has to have to slow Griffin down, who chips onto the stick. Here's Murphy, has a man with him. Murphy tries to center. Brian takes him out of the equation, where Henry gets it now, chips it. McDonald off the skates of Murphy. Big hit there. Tremblay tries to sidestep, and that goes off the crossbar. Brian and Mound gets slid into. He lays on top of the man there. Not too happy there. Slow to get up. Henry to his feet. As now Henry will get out of there. And a change for both squads upcoming. Some jawing going on here between the teams as players head off to the benches. Puck at the point, man down in front, and now that'll be a call. Out of all the things that have happened in the third period, all the little pushing and shoving and different little shoves, a battle in front is going to get called for a cross check. In a 2-goal game with 6 minutes left, a battle in front results in a cross-checking call, and if I'm the Wild players, I am not happy about that. As the whistle had gone completely away for the third period, and now that gets called. Out of all the little things, out of all the plays, out of all the little conversations and shots and face washing and stuff like that, that is the penalty you call in a 2-goal game. Very interesting, and the consistency here has been very interesting as well. Now the Wild are going to have a task at hand here, down by 2. They got to kill off a 2-minute penalty. Here's the Subs again on the power play. Duffy walks to the middle, kicks it far side, shot, rebound, steered away. Once again, Mond up for the task here on the penalty kill. Duffy turns it over, clearing attempt out to the far side where Ryan will collect it. Spin away from Mosey, loses footing. Mosey gets back, and Ryan cuts back here in his own zone. He'll gather some speed up through the neutral zone. Ryan over the blue line, drop pass. That'll find the stick. Another drop pass. Munden kicks it away. Here's Tremblay, settles things down. He'll dish it. Ryan will walk things in. Shot there off the short side. Blocker. Rebound loose. Munden trying to bury it home. He puts his hands up pretty quick, and Wild no extra going on there because they don't know what they could get away with, so they'll just say, okay, well, I won't even bother touching the player then. That way I can't get a penalty. Face off, blocker side. Face off, one back to the point. Dished off, land in his feet. Puck sitting right inside the Toyota sign. I'm watching in front. There was about 3 or 4 more cross checks there that didn't get called. So why, out of all the calls and of all the things, look, another cross check in front. Why isn't that a cross check? He goes down. See, now they'll play out that. See, that's what I'm talking about. Consistency nowhere's to be found here in this game. And I'm sorry, but I would be so frustrated. Now a call is finally going to get called after the 17th cross check. Both of them are going to go. So see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Both of them are going to go, and exactly as I was talking about it, this is my point proven. After 14 cross checks in front of the net, now Murphy's going to get the call. So how does he get away with the first 14, and now he gets a 2-minute for cross-checking call? Consistency out the window, and we're going to have a 5-on-3 once again for the Subarus. So after the 14th call, the ref now called it. So I don't know why he didn't call it on the first 13, but now the 14th, I guess, was too much for him. So I'll be a timeout here and give me a breather as the Subarus call a timeout. Welcome back here for the last 5 minutes of action. Live on High Button Sports, the second 5-on-3 power play for the Subarus here for half a minute. As a cross-checking call in front of the net on a battle on the play will result in the Captain Murphy in the box, and it'll be another 5-on-3 here for the Subarus. McPhee, drop pass. Tremblay collects, walks it down, leaves for Ryan. Cross ice, Papelinski back dishing in front. That's cleared out. Now here's a chance right out of the box. James gets caught up there by Ryan, and Ryan turns it back up ice. Across the blue line to his backhand. Ryan down low, loses an edge, loses control of the puck. Clearing attempt, held in. Papelinski walks to the middle, shot, tipped, rebound in the feet, cleared back to the point. McPhee down low, back for Papelinski's shot. One-timer blocked by James, who had taken the love tap cross-check call to start this 5-on-3. Now to 5-on-4 here for a minute. Now a delayed call in front. Papelinski goes down. Mon crashes into him. Mon gets tied down. We'll wait to see. Papelinski's down in front. Now Papelinski's going to go to the box. Mon not happy about the man in his crease. The ref yelling at Mon for some reason after him being bumped into. Now that's the 3rd or 4th time, and Mon's the one getting yelled at by the referee, not the guy in the crease who laid there as Papelinski heads to the box. We'll wait to see what for. Interference is going to be the call, so 4-on-4 action now. 4:01 remaining here. Four-on-4 action. Face off. Glove hand side of goaltender for the Subarus. 4-on-4. Cameron dishing it back. Griffin cycles around for Kelly. In behind the net. Kelly trying to find the bouncing puck up in the air. Gloved it down but couldn't control it. Here's Henry now. Out the far side. McDonald gets centered. Chips it in. Burgess will give chase. Cameron and Burgess go into the wall there as they battled for the puck. In the corner, centered. Little reverse play, and Morgan, as Cameron picks the puck up and will wheel it. He's got some pressure on his backside from McDonald as it's kicked wide. Here's Kelly 1-on-3 trying to split through. Kelly into his feet. Can't get it through as Burgess collects the loose puck. Works it for Henry. 10 seconds remaining here on the penalty for the Wild as the captain, Murphy, waiting to get back on the ice. It's 2-1. He's back now, and back to a power play upcoming here for the Wild. As that puck is Duffy now in his own zone, clearing back to the point. It gets held in onside. Here's a chance for the Wild to tie it up. Backdoor chance goes through the stick of Gambles and all the way down, cleared out by Sparks. Mond out there to play it. He'll leave it for his defenseman to gather up some speed through the neutral zone. That pass attempt knocked back away. Here's a chance. Brian through his feet down to the corner. Pinched off the puck. Brian back to the point. Land will take it back all the way into his own zone. Land clears all the way down. With speed, Murphy through the neutral zone, right up the gut. He'll dish it wide, and it's picked off. Tremblay read it perfectly, dumps it all the way back down. 10 seconds remaining on the power play for the Wild. Net empty, 6-on-4 here for about another 5 seconds. Mills overskates the puck. He'll drop it back. Dowling for Mills. Headman pass all the way across. Gamble dishing it. Here's a chance. In front, steered away. Papolinski out of the box. 6-on-5 here is net empty for the Wild. Gamble steps in, shot deflected off the skate into the corner. Clearing attempt, back to the point. Gamble gloves the stick, knocks it down. McKay, cross ice pass. McKay has a goal in the game. Mosi, backdoor for Griffin, and they score! A 6-on-5 goal with 1:38 seconds remaining on the third period clock. The Wild make it a one-goal game here, 4-3 on a tap-in goal coming off the stick of number 14, Cam Griffin, who adds another one onto the tally. So he's up to 24 points on the season, and a timeout here called for the Wild. We'll be back here at 30 seconds for the last minute and 38 here in regulation. And welcome back here for the last minute and 38 seconds of regulation time here in Amherst. Live from the Amherst Stadium, Murphy will dig in here against Burgess. Tied up at the draw, still at center. As it's worked back, Mond back into his net. Minute and a half remaining here in regulation. Henry dumps it all the way down, no icing. Gamble will have to go back. Mond out to the top of his crease. Pressured by Brian. Kicks it out to the far side. I think they got a stick on that. No icing. Here's a chance for the Wild. Get to it first. Down low. Goaltender out. Centering pass. Henry, far side. Off the boards. Chipped out. Brian was inside his own blue line. Gamble will have to go inside there. As we're a last minute to play here in regulation. 1-goal lead for the Subarus as they look to shut things down here. As Griffin works it up over the blue line. Inside the zone, chipped right back out. Gamble dishes it wide, far side. That'll be collected back here for Gamble in his own zone. He'll dish it. 40 seconds now remaining on the third period clock. Griffin spins, centers, doesn't connect cleanly. Gamble's shot blocked on the way through. Good job there by Duffy in the corner now. Cycled down low. Murphy out front. Puck in the slot, cleared all the way down. Will that have enough for icing? Yes, it will. And it sent wide, so that'll be touched up there with 19.9 seconds remaining on the clock and with 20-ish seconds remaining on the clock. The Kensington Wild will try to tie this game up here at 4 as they trail by 1. They trail the shots 38-26. Murphy on the draw, wins it back. Shot Up there into the mask of the two centermen. Mosi off his head, picked up Duffy, trying to clear. Back to the neutral zone. Picked up Brian, has a step. Brian works it in, knocked off of his stick though with 10 seconds remaining. Wild, work it up to the blue line. Centers, Brian all the way back down. That'll do it here for this one as time expires. And the Subarus coming out on top by a score of 4-3 here over the Kensington Wild here in Amherst. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Lone Crothers here live with High Button Sports for this crossover league matchup between the New Brunswick and PEI Major U18 League and the Nova Scotia High Button U18 Major League is. That's it for me here in this one. We'll be back shortly after with the RNS Riverhawks and the Kings Edgehill Highlanders here live on High Button Sports. But that's all for this one. Thank you and have a good one, folks.